All right, everyone. Hippie mom, that is Maryanne Williamson, the love bead and meditation spiritual advice giver. Literally, I guess her official title is like a spiritual mentor or something. She's trolling the Bernie Sanders campaign right now. Now, Maryanne Williamson, of course, is female, so this matters in the context of the story. What happened is that the Bernie Sanders campaign many moons ago was hit with a hashtag #MeToo attack by the neolibs, and they said, well, Bernie Sanders didn't act quick enough on this case where I guess a female staffer said that one of her supervisors had propositioned her something as sexual harassment. It was Robert Becker was the individual that was fired from the Sanders campaign. Now he has continued to claim innocence. There's no proof that he did anything wrong. He's never been prosecuted. He never faced civil fines or anything. There's no proof that he sexually harassed anyone. He's maintained his innocence now for however long, since the 2016 campaign. Maryanne Williamson said, well, I don't see any compelling reason to believe that he's a threat to females, and she's saying this as a woman, which matters. Again, it shouldn't, but it does. She's saying, so I'm hiring him. I'm hiring Robert Becker to be a staffer on my campaign. And she gets the front page news she wants. She's been trolling the Democratic Party this entire time. I think that she's like an old school hippie leftist, I guess. And so I don't think she likes the nouveau left with its censorship and its pro-corporate cocksucking and its partnerships literally with the Koch brothers, by the way, through Soros on censorship, any more than she likes the neoliberals. I think she knows she's not going to become the nominee. Quite clearly, she's barely qualifies to be on the debate stage. But she knows that she can troll the Democrats because she's interesting. Gabbard has been doing this, I think, too. Even Yang to an extent. You've got these people, they know they're not going to win, but they can inject... O'Malley did this, although he didn't do it in an exciting and funny way. Remember, during the 2016, Martin O'Malley held on till most of the way through the primaries, despite the fact that he never did better than third in a state. He was never even second in a state. He was doomed. He had no money. Why did he continue to go to the debates and speak in front of people? Because he wanted to say, within, 10 years, I want 50% green energy or some stupid plan like that. It was a single issue thing. But he knew, hey, I can sell some books. I can be an also-ran. My name's out there. It's on my Wikipedia page. It's interesting. It's something to tell the grandkids, so to speak. So I'm sticking it in, and I'm going to have a good time in the meantime. Yang's been doing this. He's not going to become the nominee, but he's managed to successfully inject the issue of automation into the Democratic field as at least a minor talking point. He's forcing other people to acknowledge automation as a politically relevant discussion. Tulsi Gabbard, she's managed to say sort of look, the Democratic Party is having major optics problems. Here I am. Here's me surfing, and I have a kind of nice body, and that's basically the Gabbard thing. She's setting up for a future run. She's building up for a future campaign. Her current campaign's already dead. It doesn't exist. She's just a figurehead of a campaign that will never actually take off. She has a great second debate performance. She doesn't even get above 2% in any of the polls. Her campaign's done. But she's an also-ran. She's setting the stage for future things. Then you've got Maryanne Williamson. She doesn't seem to really give a fuck. She's there to troll. And so now the Bernie Sanders campaign is between a cock and a hard place because they can't attack Maryanne Williamson directly. Bernie Sanders prefers not to generally go on the offensive. He's afraid. He's a tactician who's a little bit cautious. And so it's not within his MO to launch an attack on someone except as a defensive mechanism, which he's done with Harris and Warren and some of the others, Biden once, I think, and some of the lower-level candidates. By and large, though, he doesn't. So Williamson hires Robert Becker, says, look, there's no evidence he did anything wrong. By the way, I'm female, so, go ahead and call me a sexist and say that I don't champion women's rights. Bernie Sanders can't do anything. He already got cast off as the Democrat who's against women's rights by the far left within his own party. Which, of course, is ludicrous, preposterous, and totally wrong, but that's what they cast him off as. He can barely maintain a close third place at this point, with Warren eclipsing him. In 2016, it was Bernie this, Bernie that, the Bernie revolution. Then he sold out, endorsed Clinton. Now he can't rise above third or on some days a close second. Anyway, Maryanne Williamson is at least funny. She's the one you expect her on a debate stage. Like, they're going to ask her a question, and instead of answering, she's just going to start humming and moving her hands around and playing with bongos or something. And then the hippies in the crowd that support her, they'll all be like chanting, "Give peace a chance," or something charming like that. And by the way, that makes her more sane than these others. Her being like a 60s-esque hippie liberal makes her more sane than the other people up on stage. Most of these people wear suits on a regular basis and come from urban areas. They're elitist and they're snobbish, and some of them are very, very rich. They're not like hippie trippy Dave, who's growing his weed plants. Sanders comes out and says, "Well, if I'm elected, I'm going to legalize marijuana on the federal level." Dude, it's inevitable anyway. We don't need to elect you to get that to happen. Half the states have already legalized it anyway. Fuck you. Who cares what the federal government does? They're not enforcing the federal marijuana laws. Trump's not. Supposedly he's real far right and Jesus-loving total moralistic bullshit, and yet he doesn't care if you smoke weed. He came out in favor of medical marijuana before half the Democrats did. I think he sees it as let the states decriminalize it and who cares. It'd be funny. By the way, biggest thing Trump could do right now if he wants to fuck Bernie Sanders over is just propose that on a federal level too. Say, yeah, we need to reschedule shit, like the drug scheduling doesn't make sense, here's an executive order, I'm forcing them to do that. You get a lot of younger voters who would like you, Trump. You should do that. Trump's on thin ice right now because of the red flag bullshit, and because of his attacks on video games and violent movies, which have never caused a crime, legitimately. They're used as an excuse. The devil made me do it comes to mind. But he should come out and recapture his youth momentum by saying, yeah, by the way, I don't give a fuck if you smoke weed. Yeah, some of the traditionalist cons of the alt-right might care and say, well, it's degenerate to smoke marijuana, as they plow through their third Budweiser of the day. But otherwise, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. And center-right will love it. They'll eat it up. Just cast it as we're saving tax money by non-enforcement of marijuana illegality, and we're just gonna, focus on like hard drugs. We'll focus on the opiate epidemic. That's a way to really get the working class back aboard the Trump train. I half expect he needs to do that. He should do that at the first debates with whoever his opponent is, but maybe he should undercut them now with an executive order on weed. Maryanne Williamson, otherwise she'll become the first presidential candidate to smoke weed on a debate stage. She's most likely to be the one to do that. That's a tip to Maryanne Williamson. Look, are the third debates in a state where it's legal? Smoke a joint live on stage. Guarantee you'll get some youth support from that, by the way. You'll make the rest of the Democrats look dumb. Make them look outdated. I think, isn't Williamson, she's in her 50s or something. So she's on the youngish side. It's really funny to say that. It's like when I'm 60... When I turn the big 6-0, at least I'll have the happiness of knowing that I'm still younger than the average senator. So there's still time to enter politics, says Styx, as he realizes that Washington, D.C. is a hellhole. And unfortunately, no matter how much draining of the swamp goes on, it probably will remain that way forever. It's rather sad. It could be in such a nice city if it weren't for all the lawyers and politicians residing therein and thereabouts. I like Maryanne Williamson. Not her views, but the fact that she's a thorn in the side of the other leftists on the stage, infinitely hilarious. She says this weird shit about love conquering all. It's like if only Yoko Ono becomes our ambassador, things will be better, stuff like that. I fondly await Maryanne Williamson as El Presidente. Be very, very funny indeed. That's about all. Peace out.